My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our content. Next up, at UFC Vegas 47, we have Miles Johns versus John Sexy Mexi Castaneda. John Castaneda is 18-5 overall, 2-3 in his last five, coming off a win over Eddie Wineland. True vet, WEC legend. Miles Johns is 21-1 overall, 4-1 coming off two knockout wins in his last five. And Miles Johns is a good, strong grappler with heavy hands and explosive speed. The wrestling is the core of everything he does, and it used to be who he was as a fighter, but he is coming off those two knockouts in a row, and those aren't ground and pound TKOs. Those are legitimate knockouts that he got. John Sexy Mexi Castaneda. I'm saying sexy way too much in this breakdown.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No,
he's
you're
a
not.
really fun.
I love that.
He's a really fun come forward fighter, and breaking down his tape is funny. So, to do all of this, I will initially write down my notes, just what I have, my gut, my head. I'll write that down. Then I'll go watch tape, make changes, amend things, whatever, and then I'll put together my breakdown. And putting John Castaneda, watching that tape is so funny because most of his fights were in Spanish promotions. So you're
going to take exactly what I said in our first breakdown of this guy. That's exactly what I said in the first
I don't
breakdown.
even remember
a whole bunch of Spanish. Sexy Mexi.
Yeah, exactly.
They just start. It's just a whole bunch of Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Sexy Mexi.
I don't even remember you saying that. I just last week when I was watching the tape, that was that you just.
It's funny. Well, it's funny that we
saw
sexy. It's funny that we saw the same thing, but yeah, it's hilarious. You have to watch one of his fights and watch the whole thing because they love saying it.
Yeah. So anyway, he is a very well-rounded guy. He sets an incredible pace. He loves coming forward with fast hands. He shoots a lot of takedowns from there when he has the opening. He does not have a ton of power, but he makes up for it with forward pressure and a wide variety of strikes. He will mix it up. This entire card is stacked with fun fights from fighters that really don't have a lot of name recognition, and this is another one. Miles Johns has a ton of power. His wrestling is solid, and that is matched with Castaneda's pressure and toughness, and this should be another one of those really fun fights. I do think that Johns gets it done, but I would like him to wrestle and not hang out on his feet. Because I mentioned Castaneda doesn't have a ton of power, but he can pull it off. He can stick and move. He can make things happen. And if Miles Johns fell in love with those two knockouts and now he thinks that's who he is as a fighter, he can end up losing a striking decision. So I think Miles Johns absolutely needs to wrestle to get this done. Miles Johns is the pick. I don't think we'll be seeing the Sexy Mexi Raptor impression, but this is a really fun fight to watch. I was hoping that I would get a 1.5 round line and just immediately smash them more because John Castaneda is just so freaking tough. But they set it at 2.5, and more on 2.5 is even not great money. So no bet for me here. I'm just going to be watching and enjoying. What do you think, Jakey?
Did he do the Raptor thing? Because that's Rojo's thing. Did he do that when he beat Rojo? Because he beat Marcelo Rojo. And that's Marcelo Rojo's thing. So if he did that, I might change my pick because that's super disrespectful to my boy, Marcelo Rojo. But you mentioned Miles John, wrestler, Kansas, 5'8", state champion. He's falling in love with the striking. And we've seen, and we've talked about in the past, these grapplers that fall in love with the striking. Listen, last week, lock of the week. Genaro Valdez. I mentioned how tough he was. Mexican tough. Viva Mexico. And my God, did he show... This is one of those things where a lot of times it's like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm not disappointed because that dude got dropped 5 times and was still fighting the toughest dude I've ever seen in my life. We're chalking that up as a win last week, lock of the week, Genaro Valdez. And we're sticking with our Mexican brothers, lock of the week, Sexy Mexi, John Castaneda for lock of the week because I agree, Miles Johns, he's going to start striking with this kid, and this dude is insane. Will throw wild combos, and he will knock Miles Johns out in this matchup. He is the lock of the week. I love him in this matchup. He will take one to give one, and that's not a guy that Miles Johns wants to get in exchange with. I love John Castaneda on this. I think he gets the knockout. I actually put 2-unit bet on him inside the distance decisional action, because if Miles Johns comes in and starts grappling again, he could easily lose the decision. But if he starts striking, I think Miles Johns gets knocked out. 2 units inside the distance decisional action. I think that was like minus 130 or something like that. So that's my bet. But Viva Mexico. We're going with Sexy Mexi, baby. Lock of the week.
Yeah, I'm looking at that bet right now. That's not a bad
plus 130.
Bet.
Plus 130. I look at it. I put 2 units on it.
It's plus money. I may jump on that as well.
Plus 130 inside the distance, decision no action for Sexy Mexi.
It is plus 130. So, yeah, I may jump on that as well because he's so tough. I don't see him getting finished. And if you don't know what that bet is, let me explain it real quick. If you don't know what that bet is, that basically means if John Castaneda wins by stoppage, Jacob gets paid because John Castaneda won by stoppage. If he loses a decision, doesn't matter. If he is beat within an inch of his life but loses a decision, Jacob gets a refund. The bet never happened. Gets his money back. Hands are clean. Didn't lose a dollar. That's a solid bet in a spot like this because John Castaneda is a dangerous guy, tough guy, sets a good pace. Doesn't really have any power, but he sets a really tough pace. And he's stupid tough. So he will likely survive, likely make it to a decision, but there is a potential he can get a stoppage win here. So that's a solid bet. I may jump on that late. The problem is Miles Johns is also really tough. But I guess you
really
just get a refund.
And here's one of the things I forgot to mention as well is he basically won his last fight against Anderson Dos Santos with leg kicks. He just absolutely destroyed his legs. If he comes in and tries to do that same thing and throw some blind leg kicks, we've seen it so many times in the past where these guys come in and just throw blind leg kicks because they're not used to it, but they had success with it. They throw it blind and overhand right, overhand left, whatever, comes over the top and knocks him out. I think he's going to find himself in some big trouble this fight against my Mexican brother.
Well, it'll be interesting. I think John Castaneda is probably a solid play at $7,300 if you're on that side. I mean, he's a bargain. So, did you make him? Sure. Is he your? Yeah, he's your lock of the week. Yeah, plus 195. Did you bet a money line? That's solid.
And this will be.
Think he's going to win? That's solid.
I didn't play the money line because I'm worried about the I think he can not easily, but I think he can get out grappled. Miles Johns is a very good grappler. I just don't think that Miles Johns is going to. That's why I kind of hedged my bet in that, right? But lock of the week, if I hit this, that's just 6 of 7 if you count last week as a loss. Otherwise, it's 7 in a row, which I think it is 7 in a row. A lot of heart last week.
And I think this is a very easy more in monkey knife fight. I think they go at it. I think it's 3 full rounds. And even if Miles Johns grapples, John Castaneda is going to throw wild, and try to get off whatever he can. So I like more in monkey knife fight. Those lines move. So if you're watching this live right now, pull up monkey knife fight in another tab or pull up the app. Place that now because that will move tomorrow. wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up, make a deposit. They'll instantly match that deposit. Use the free money. Play the game. Use the free money. It's super fun, super easy. It's an app on your phone. If you want 50 free bucks, wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and we'll send you $50. This should be a fun fight for all of us.